Hello and welcome to this video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at this. The Rapido Titfield Thunderbolt Deluxe Train Pack. Now this is very special. I have wanted a model of this particular engine for many years, ever since I first saw the film. I first remember watching it with my grandfather. I think he'd taped it off the telly. It was on VHS. And ever since then, I've wanted a model of Thunderbolt. And I never in a million years did I think that we would get the entire film train in one box set. And obviously when I watched that many years ago, DCC sound was never even thought of. The box it comes in is fantastic. It is very sturdy, and the box artwork on the front is just beautiful. You've obviously got the Titfield Thunderbolt with its Dan's House and towed brake van, Reverend Weech and the Bishop of Winchester on the footplate, and the Pearson Crump bus in the background. I mean, what a fantastic looking set. So let's open the box lid and see what we get, which is easier said than done. It appears this is the first time this has been opened. I've not opened it before today. So we open the box lid and we're greeted with the normal Rapido paperwork. The Titfield Thunderbolt Train Pack Owner's Manual, we'll have a look at that shortly. The Titfield and Mallingford Railway Certificate of Authenticity, produced for the 70th anniversary of the film, and it's even signed by Mr. Valentine himself. That's very nice. That's a very nice piece there. And because it's the deluxe edition, we have a Titfield Thunderbolt book about the making of the film. So let's set the model aside for a second and have a look at the book first. This isn't going to be a review as such. This is just to have a look at it. I'm not keen on doing reviews. This is just something I thought I'd make a video of because I've wanted one for such a long time. There is a picture of the pre-production model on the cover there, and then there are some very nice illustrations. It'd be interesting actually to see Rapido trains. There's like a credits bit there. Book written by Andy Hardy and edited by Richard Foster. That's interesting because several weeks ago I actually bought this. Now, any Titfield Thunderbolt fan, you need to get this book. This is a fabulous book that charts the making of the film in some depth. I mean, there is plenty of photographs. In fact, that one there I've just caught sight of in this book as well. So some of the pictures are obviously going to be shared, but this is very in-depth, this Titfield Thunderbolt book, and if you're a fan of the film, you need this book. It is absolutely fantastic and well worth the money, and it obviously complements this book quite nicely. So I'm not going to do a direct comparison, that would be unfair, but I wonder just how many pictures in this book are shared and between shared and seen in both books. But the book itself looks very well written. It's very well presented. Some of the pictures, as I said, that one there we've just seen in the previous book, but then other pictures like that I don't recall seeing before, so it isn't an exact copy. And oh, there's that that picture I just mentioned. But yeah, it goes through, it's printed in nice colour, goes through all the characters, the filmmakers, where it was filmed, on the Camerton branch in Somerset, I believe, and then it goes through the stars of the film, details the locos used, the crews, the fake 14XX that ran along the road, and there are interesting little snippets. For example, when the film crew painted the loco in the garish livery for the colour film of the time, they did so actually before they'd got official permission to do it. The tramway car is coming out later on within the next 6 months to a year. I've also got that on order, so we'll have a look at that when I eventually get it. And there's Squire on his brake van. I can't think of his name at the moment, but there's the Squire on his brake van. And then obviously the jubilant scenes from the end of the film. What a nice book. That is fantastic. Rapido, if anybody from your company is watching, you should sell that as a separate item, I think. That is a very nice book. Complements this Simon Caston's book that came out earlier this year very well. And as I said, recommended. So yeah, that's lovely, that book. There's the certificate we've already looked at. And then the owner's manual. Now this is a normal Rapido manual that comes with everything. It came with my jack screen, etc., things like that. And they are very informative. They're very well written, and there's also some humour in amongst these books if you read them properly. And it's nice there that they've actually included couplings which are compatible with coaches from other manufacturers. Now we can guess who that is, but I'm not going to mention any names. You need to run the model in 30. Yeah, run it in. You can put the crank screw covers on. There's silent operation. How to fit a decoder. This one's sound fitted, so we don't need that. There's the sound functions. We'll go through them when I put it on the layout. Sound volumes, the Laureate, Wyatt and Dan's house. Where was I? Yeah, Dan's house, you can remove the body shell. It does recommend using a prying tool for mobile phones. So we'll have a look at that. Then there's a bit about the, oh yeah, Mr. Chesterford was his name, Squire. There's a bit about his brake van with a removable roof. Warranty information, damaged, missing parts, and then very good exploded diagrams. And then acknowledgements, thanking Studio Canal. And I mean, look at those as comparison photographs. Shows you just how well this model has been put together. It certainly does look like it's going to be a little beauty. So, going back to the model itself, it is in this sturdy box. Removing the foam topper, we are presented with the train itself. Now look at that. I still cannot quite believe I've got the Titfield Thunderbolt in my hands. A model that I have wanted for so long. So what I'll do is I'll remove these individually. I'll remove them from the box. There's a small detail pack. That is the chimney for Dan's house and the axle box covers. There is nothing else in there, so I assume the figures are in with one of the models. So let's move that off to the side, and we'll start with the towed brake van. Actually, we'll save the best till last, and we'll start with the towed brake van. This is the first Rapido wagon I've actually ever owned. I've got a couple of Rapido locos, but this is the first wagon. And obviously the removable roof there. But the first thing that comes to mind with this is how the finesse of this model. I mean, it just feels like quality. I mean, the lamp brackets on the side are separate mouldings. The handrails are metal. As I said, the roof removes to reveal a fully detailed interior. And that is fantastic. Look at that. You've got the benches, the stove, the shelf, the table, the guards, hand reel, the cord across the top. Now, in the film, obviously, they did have a communication cord that rang a bell in the brake van, so that's a nice detail. It's fully glazed, NEM pockets, and the wheels, look at that, the wheels are extremely free running. I wouldn't have been surprised then to find sprung buffers on that. But even the work plate under there, I don't know how my phone camera will pick that up, but that is legible. And it's done out as Whiskey 68740, so it stands for a Western Region brake van. But that is fantastic. The removable roof is nice, so you can detail the interior. I just need to find somebody now that makes 4mm scale hanging baskets. That is, honestly, that is amazing. And there's even sandboxes in there with the relevant sand pipes coming down to the wheels. Yeah, there is a slight gap between the roof and the body shell there, but at normal viewing angles and distances you're not going to see that. But that brake van is absolutely exquisite. The next one we'll look at is Dan's house on the Laureate Y, and in this package is the 3D printed figures of you know what, I forgot his name again. The Bishop of Winchester, Mr. Chesterfield, and the Reverend Weech there. But I'll leave those in place until we put it on the layout. Now, this coach body on the Laureate Y, this was actually built by the film company. It wasn't a real coach body, it was built by the film company around the Laureate Y. The Laureate Y was chosen for the platforms on the end as they made good camera stands. And I do actually have a couple of 4mm figures with cine cameras, and I may tacky wax them onto there just as something different. Now, the body of this coach does come off, so we might have to have a look inside. I don't have a prizing tool at the moment. Do not use anything sharp like a scalpel blade or anything like that, because you will ruin the printed finish on the coach body. But again, with the brake van, the finesse of these models, down to the handrail and steps on the roof, that gap there is for the chimney we saw in the detail pack. But the finesse of the models is just, it's exquisite. They are very, very good. Right, so with the prizing tool, what I did was I used a smooth flat piece of metal. I can actually remove Dan's house body to reveal a fully detailed interior. Now, you did just see there that when I tried to put that part came off. That is simply a broken glue bond. There's nothing broken. You can see, I don't know if you can see very well, but the two pips that go into the chassis are still present. So there's obviously not a lot of glue being used on there. So that's nothing to do with the wagon braking or the quality. It's just a bad glue joint, that's all. But I managed to prise the body off. The body is a very sturdy, nice plastic moulding, but inside it is a work of art. I mean, you've got the sofa and the chairs. The sofa, obviously, where Mr. Valentine, Dan, Pierce and Crumple sit all handcuffed together. You've even got crockery, cups, saucers, candlesticks, a transistor radio on the wall shelf unit there. You've even got a vase with flowers in it. I mean, that, and a rug underneath the mat. I mean, that is exquisite. I mean, the detail on that. I dare say that if this had been made by another manufacturer, maybe, we would not have been treated to this level of detail. I mean, I'm almost scared to tip it up in case those cupboard doors and drawers fall open on that wall dresser there. But the interior of that is just fantastic. I mean, I can't believe the quality of this model. So Dan's house, as I said, you use a prizing tool, just clip that off, and obviously there's 4 clips there. And make sure if you do take it off to get this correctly orientated. So the hole for the chimney stack obviously goes this side. And that simply just gently push fits back over the flooring and should sit flush like that. So what an excellent, actually that's not on there properly, is it? Okay, that I can't put that back on there properly until I glue that back in. But as I said, that's not a detraction from the model. That is simply a bad glue joint. So there we have the train, the coach and the brake van. Now we come on to the main event, obviously the loco itself. Thunderbolt in its bright red and green colour scheme. So let's get this out of its blister packaging. Very, very well packaged model. Whoops, the tender is actually so well packaged it doesn't want to let go. And what becomes immediately apparent, now I haven't had any experience with either Rapido or Hornby's Lion, is the sheer weight of that tender alone. For such a small vehicle, that is heavy. And then you've got the loco section. Now I want to be very careful with this. And that as well is extremely heavy. For its size, that is a very, very heavy piece of equipment. It does say on the instructions, and I can't stress this enough, do not pick it up and squash these side rods. They are delicate. I mean, it sits in the palm of my hand, and everything on that model, everything from that works plate to the nameplate is legible. There is no underframe detail because obviously you can't read it anyway. But what a fantastic piece of equipment. There is a slight, and it is only slight, colour difference. I'm struggling to hold this. Between that part and the die-cast running plate, you can just see a slight difference in the tone of red. But other than that, I mean, that is absolutely bloody fantastic. The detail in the cab, correct for the film, that is slightly bent. And it's also very loose. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be that loose. Maybe it is. There's the handbrake lever. On the front, I'm trying so desperately not to. There's cylinder drain taps, a smoke box door, and a hook. That is just absolutely exquisite. The tender, it's got the tender full plate there. There are various pieces of equipment on the floor. There's the reversing, oh no, sorry, that's the handbrake, that's the reversing lever, water filler caps, and the livery application. And the rivet detail on this is just absolutely phenomenal. Now, I don't want to couple them together just yet. We will do a test on the layout, but I am blown away. That is such an amazing model. That is fantastic. The detail on this Rapido Lion, or in this case Thunderbolt, is just out of this world. The bright red and green livery is absolutely spot on for the filming model. The lovely decoration, whoops, on the chimney there. The decoration on the wood clad boiler. The legible nameplates. Apart from that slight problem with the Laureate wire, which was a loose glue joint, I really am struggling to find fault with this model. The Titfield Thunderbolt, as I said, was a model that I've always wanted, and I can't actually believe it's here on the desk. Complete with Dan's house, with its interior, and an exquisite towed brake van. I mean, the detail on that alone is just phenomenal. I am blown away, and in my opinion, it is well worth every penny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this over to the layout, and we'll have a look at it running, go through the sound functions. Before I do that, I am going to just glue that down, because obviously when you lift it up, it comes loose there, but it is securely glued the other side. It's nothing to detract from the model. I'm sure if you had one and didn't want to glue it, the retailer you buy it off would swap it over. I'm happy just to glue that back in place, but obviously people will bemoan about that. And I've only just realised, actually, there's curtains up in the house. What a fantastic piece of kit. So let's get it over to the layout, listen to the sound functions, and give it a spin. And it'll probably be the first time that the Titfield loco has been along a seawall. Right, we're all set up on the layout now, and all I've done is I've programmed it to a number, as is normal and usual for me. I can't fit the figures at the moment because I can't find my tacky wax. I only had it a couple of days ago, now it's disappeared, so sod's law, I suppose. It's also drawing quite a crowd of people. So I've programmed it to 1953, which obviously is the year this was released. So let's start and we'll go through the sound functions. So that's function 1, where it is just starting up. Function 2. Function 3.
Oh Sam, what a little beauty, you lucky devil. What an experience.
So you have to leave F3 on. If you turn it off, you can't just push it, you have to leave it on.
She won't couple, huh? This type of coupling didn't come until 30 years later. 33 to be precise. 1875? Yes, you're quite right on.
So that was F4. F5.
If I may observe the departure, you may take the train out.
F6. Oh.
This is it, Dolly. Oh, Sam. One's first sermon all over again. We want the Titfield Thunderbolt.
That was F7. F8.
6.5 minutes late already. No desperandum, Molly.
F9.
Oh, Sam. Chin up, Molly. Another 50 yards. It's downhill as far as the water green.
F10.
Now we're over the top. Notice the difference? Now we'll show him. Sam!
F11.
She won't. Then put her in reverse. Jammed.
F12.
Average speed, 24.25 miles per hour. If I may hazard a comment, I think you were particularly fortunate. All other requirements having been satisfactory, it would have been a pity if your timing had let you down. Fortunate. Had you reached an average speed of 25 miles an hour, it would have exceeded the limits imposed on the light railway. It was a very near thing. Be more careful next time.
F13.
Oh, Sam, what a little beauty, you lucky devil. What an experience. What an experience. You've seen her before, of course. In the museum. But to stand on her. I did once mount the North Star. You know, which is 222 with the double crank driving axle. But this... Oh!
F15. That's coal shoveling. F16. F17. Right, the last one according to this is F19, which disables the brake squirrel, so you won't actually be able to hear everything on that.
My dear fellow, whatever do you mean?
Right, that's F20. So I'm going to explore the other functions. Right, so this is F20.
Inspired by? My dear fellow, whatever do you mean?
So F20 is a bit of a cheeky one. So that's all the sound functions. So let's see how she runs, and then I'll give her a spin around the layout.
She won't. If I may.
there you have it. Rapido's Titfield Thunderbolt train pack. It is sublime. There is nothing wrong with this. The sound suite is fantastic. You couldn't have asked for more. The detail in Dan's coach, the brake van, even Harry Hawkins has come to have a look at it. It is brilliant. And to quote a line from the film, they've made it alright. They've made it. If you want one of these train packs, I wouldn't hang about. They're not going to hang about for long. Get one, that's all I'll say, mate. I can only recommend this. There is nothing bad about this model whatsoever. See you in the next video. Bye for now.